So it's fair to say that I have quite a bit of personal experience in the realm of domestic violence. I also know that I come from a long line of loud, boisterous women that, have many masculine characteristics and traits. And, I know there's one common theme about, the women in my family was that they all got beaten on and cheated on. And I know that's not every man that does that, but I just seen this pattern, this common, trend where women that are loud and masculine and belittling towards men and like man hating, those are the kind of women that end up being abused and cheated on. And, I just feel like when a woman presents in her masculine energy, then a man's walls are automatically up. And, like, yeah, what they're looking at is a woman, but the energy that they're receiving back is masculine. So I feel like that is like an automatic challenge for them. Also, like I shared before, as a person that's been in 12-step recovery, I have to look at my part in relationships where there's been relationship breakdown, relationship failure. Even if I am the victim, I still have to look at my part about why that abuse happened and why it was brought on. And sometimes it was because of the way that I have behaved, I have often challenged men in the past and been like loud and boisterous and opinionated and everything else. And like, it's not a feminine way of being. It's not feminine characteristics. And when you're with a loudmouth bitch, the odds are you're probably going to treat them like a loudmouth bitch. Just saying. So, I learned to combat my anger and my impatience and my loud, boisterous nature. Like, that is the underlying nature that I have because I come from a long line of like very strong, opinionated, like fucking bulky women, like butch women. I come from a long line of butch women, to be honest, like, and my mom and all her sisters. And I don't know if in part that was because of the way they were raised. Like, my grandfather was mafia and he was always absent and he was an alcoholic and an abuser. And then their mother died when my mom was 5. She was murdered by their abusive stepfather. So my grandmother just went from one abusive guy to my grandfather to the next. Now, I don't know what my grandmother was like because obviously she died when my mom was 5, but I do know what my mother was like and what all her sisters were like, and then also what I used to be like, some of those characteristics and those personality traits that were passed on to me by my mom and her sisters. And negative, toxic way of being and relating to the opposite sex. And so, with all this considered, and my own relationship patterns, the toxic ones, that is my general consensus. That women that are loud, boisterous, opinionated, emasculating, and belittling towards men, they're more likely to get beaten and cheated on. Beaten because the man feels challenged because their woman's in her masculine traits, and cheated on because they're not getting that playful, fun, nurturing, loving, feminine that they require as a masculine. So they go elsewhere where they can get that loving, nurturing, feminine, sexy, light, fun attitude from a different femme. One that's not breaking his balls all the time. Also, 2 out of 3 of my aunts on my mom's side are lesbian. So maybe, women, you're with the wrong gender. If you're going to be that man-hating and emasculating and belittling towards the male and not let him lead your family and be the head of the house, maybe you're with the wrong gender. Maybe you need to be with a woman. Just saying. I mean, just saying. Maybe you really do hate men. And until you get over that, in therapy, hopefully, not through like any toxic hobbies, might be something to consider.